Hi guys, it's me again. Alright then viewers, today I'm going to be doing my updated PS2 Games Collection 2023 edition. Now you probably remember the PS1 Games Collection from my last video for when I reached 6k subscribers. Well, that's why I have moved on to the sister console of the PS1, and it's the PS2. Okay, now because I've got, I know I've got couple of these games here. I know it sounds a lot, but that's because you see viewers, because sometimes I only just like to trade in some games, so that way I can try my best to get my hands on a retro PS1 games, and also sometimes for DVDs as well. Okay, so that's why I've kept some of these. Don't get me wrong, I mean, it's just obviously it's a collection and that's just what it is. Right, so let's crack on with this update. So we're going to start with this one first. And here's the first one. And it's 4x4 Evo. So this is obviously a PS2 game that I got for my birthday about 2 years ago nearly. So here's the front, here's the spine, and there is the back. And here's a disc for 4x4 Evo. And there's the manual in there. And the next one is Evo 2. Big wheels, big action. Here's the front, spine, and there's the back. And here's a disc for 4x4 Evo 2, and there's the instruction manual. And here's the sequel to the original smash hit which I showed you. And this is the sequel, Ape Escape 2. Here's the front, spine, and here's the back. And here's a disc for Ape Escape 2. Now, because I know this one used to cost £20, but when I looked at CEX the next few months, they changed it to £12. Yeah, it's a good thing I had to use a voucher for that, let's just say. And here's the next one, Atari Anthology. Front, spine, and the back. And it's got 85 games that started a revolution. Well, it was Pong that started the revolution the most. And there's a disc for Atari Anthology. And there's the instruction manual there as well. And moving on to the Burnout games. And here's the original, Burnout, from Acclaim. Front and spine. And there's the back. Here's a disc for Burnout. And here's the next one, Burnout 2, Point of Impact, which introduces the crash mode to the series. Front, spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Burnout 2. And here's the next one, Burnout 3, Takedown, which marks the debut of online play. Here's the front, spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Burnout 3. Oh, and what I find it most surprising, because this game, however, contains the demo version of Need for Speed Underground 2, which I did used to have, but not anymore. But the demo version, however, was a good one. So yeah, I'm keeping that one up for my collection. So that was well worth it. And here's Burnout Revenge. Front and spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Burnout Revenge. And moving on to the Crash Bandicoot games. Yeah, I haven't got very much, I'm afraid. So here are two copies of, bear with me, and here are two copies of Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. The reason why I got two copies of them, because if this one goes wrong, this one is a spare one. So here are two fronts, and here are two spines, and here are two backs. Now I'll show you this one first. Now here's the one with the disc, and this one's without a manual. But this one, on the other hand, this one has. So it's a disc and a manual. So yeah, that's two copies of Crash Bandicoot. So don't ask why. Just for emergency copy. And moving on to one of my favourite PS2 compilation, which is Crash Bandicoot Action Pack. And it's got 3 games such as Crash Nitro Kart, Twin Sanity, and Crash Tag Team Racing. Front, spine, and there's the back. And here are 3 discs. Disc 1 for Crash Nitro Kart. Oh, a Crash Nitro Kart marks the 20th anniversary since that game was launched. And here's Crash Twinsanity. And next year, this one will be 20 years old as well. And Tag Team Racing. And there's the instruction manual. And it's got Crash of the Titans, which I will show you right now. And here's the next game. Crash of the Titans. Front, Spy, and there's the back. Here's the disc for Crash of the Titans, and there's the manual. Right, and moving on to the next one. Now, here's something that I enjoy playing the most. It's Crazy Chicken X. So it's basically like a shooting game where you have to shoot out the chickens. Front, Spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Crazy Chicken X. And the next one is Crazy Taxi. Front, Spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Crazy Taxi. Oh, and don't ask about this disc, because obviously this was a platinum version. Yeah, it's a bit strangely that, but it has the same game in this one though, which is fine. And the next one is Ferrari F355 Challenge. Front, Spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Ferrari F355 Challenge. Right, okay, now I'm just going to move on to the Sonic the Hedgehog games now. Now, because, however, I know that Chloe did say that her favourite character in the Sonic games, and she does like Amy Rose, well then, Chloe, if you're watching this right now, I have some Sonic the Hedgehog games, because I know you don't like Sonic the Hedgehog, but I can handle your opinions on that. So anyways, here's the game that we might as well play again. And here's Sonic Heroes. Now, I used to play the GameCube version of this one first, before I got the PS2 version, and this is what it looks like. So here's the front, Spy, and there's the back. And there you go, Chloe. Now, this is the team that you might like. So this is obviously Team Rose. So it's got Amy Rose, Cream the Rabbit, and Big the Cat. Hey, Big! Kidding. And it's also got some other teams such as Team Sonic, Team Dark, and Team Chaotix. And here's a disc for Sonic Heroes, and there's the instruction manual. And the next one is Sonic Mega Collection Plus. Front, Spy, and here's the back. And here's a disc for Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and here's the instruction manual. And the next one is Sonic Gems Collection. 3 must-have hits, which is Sonic CD. That's the one with when Amy Rose made her debut in 1993, so it's obviously 30 years since then. And it's got 6 bonus games, which I didn't used to play at the time. Here's the front, Spy, and there's the back. And it has 2 other games, such as Sonic the Fighters, which is an arcade game, and there's Sonic R. Now, I think I did used to play that game when I was at Cherry's. Well, probably from the PC game, obviously. And it has 6 bonus Game Gear classics, such as Sonic the Hedgehog 2, that's based on the Mega Drive, Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble, Drift 2, and Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventures. And there's the disc for Sonic Gems Collection. And here's the instruction manual. And the next one is Sonic Riders. Front, Spy, and here's the back. Here's a disc for Sonic Riders, and there's the instruction manual. Oh, and of course this game, however, features Amy Rose in that one as well. And the same with this one. Zero Gravity. Front, Spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Right, that's pretty much all the Sonic games that I can show you now. Oh yes, and of course, there's Sega Mega Drive Collection. See, there's Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, and as I said, I respect your opinion on that one, Chloe, if you're watching this. There's the front and Spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Sonic Mega Collection Plus. Right, and as I said, that's all the Sonic games now. Right, now let's moving on, continuing with the letter. So we'll start off with Flat Out. Front, Spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Flat Out. And here's the next one, Flat Out 2. Front, spine, there's the back. Here's a disc for Flat Out 2. And here's the next one, Ford Racing 2. Front, spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Ford Racing 2 and the instruction manual. And here's Ford Racing 3. Here's a disc for Ford Racing 3, and here's the manual yet again. And the next one is Street Racing. Now the reason why it's called Street Racing, because obviously you can actually drive your Ford cars around the street. Here's the front, spine, there's the back. Here's a disc for Ford Street Racing. And the next one is Ford vs Chevy. Front, spine, there's the back. Here's a disc for Ford vs Chevy. And the next one is Godzilla Save the Earth. Front, spine, here's the back. Here's a disc for Godzilla Saves the Earth. Now, I know that my brother Tom used to have the Xbox version of Godzilla Saves the Earth, and so do I. But because I've got the PS2 version, well, he would have loved to play that on PS2, but I don't think I'm into Xbox that much anyway nowadays. Anyways, next one, and here's Hummer Badlands. Front, spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Hummer Badlands. And moving on to the Jak and Daxter trilogy, here's the first one, The Precursor Legacy. Front, spine, there's the back. Here's a disc for Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy. Now, here's something that you may have not seen before, because actually, here's another one that looks like a map of all sorts. Bear with me, won't you? And there we are. And see, that's what it looks like. And that looks like a map. Well, of course, I will take a photo of that as well later. And I will put that back in there later, because I'm not going to bother with that right now. And here's the next one. Now, if you could just bear with me whilst I look for it. Right, it's alright, viewers. Right, I found the other two Jak games. It was in a wardrobe. But anyways, continuing on. Jak 2 Renegade. Front, spine, and there's the back. Here's the disc for Jak 2 Renegade, and here's the instruction manual. And here's Jak 3, the concluding game of the trilogy. Front, spine, there's the back. Here's the disc for Jak 3. Right, that's all the Jak and Daxter games there is now. And now let's move on to Cow the Kangaroo Round 2. Front, spine, and here's the back. Here's the disc for Cow the Kangaroo Round 2. Here's the instruction manual. And the next one, and here's one of the bestest games on the PS2, Lego Racers 2. Now, I did used to play the PC version of it back then, but I got the PS2 version so that I can carry on playing it. Here's the front, spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Lego Racers 2, and here's the instruction manual. And moving on to the Midway Arcade Treasures trilogy, starting with the original, and it has over 20 arcade classics. Here's the front, spine, and there's the back. Now, I'm not going to bother to tell you what the games are, because you could just pause the video if you want to check out what games they have on there. Here's a disc for Midway Arcade Treasures, and here's the manual. And here's Midway Arcade Treasures 2. Front, spine, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Midway Arcade Treasures 2, and here's the manual. And here's the concluding one, Midway Arcade Treasures 3, but this time it's got Retro Racing Classics. Front, spine, and here's the back. And it's got 8 games such as Rush the Rock, Hydro Thunder, Super Off-Road, Badlands, Race Driven, Stun Runner, San Francisco Rush 2049, Off-Road Thunder. Oh, and it has the Ed and Eddie trailer as part of an extras. here's the disc and the manual. Right, and here we go with another one of my favourite games, because it's something to do with Mini Coopers. Here's Mini Desktop Racing. Front, spy, and here's the back. And here's a disc for Mini Desktop Racing. Now, the reason why I got that for my birthday about a few years ago, because it has Mini Coopers in it, which is kind of cool. And here's the next one, and it's Mr. Bean. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Mr. Bean. Right, last one before I take a break, and it's Namco Museum 50th Anniversary. Here's the front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Namco Museum 50th Anniversary, and here's the manual. Oh, and it's alright, viewers, I'll probably continue on right now. And here's Off-Road with Land Rover and Ford. Front, spy, and here's the back. Here's a disc for Off-Road. Right, moving on to the next one. And here are two off-road games. Now, I know I've already showed you the other off-road, but this is Off-Road Wide Open. Front, spy, there's the back. And here's the disc for Off-Road Wide Open. Right, this time for real, this is the last one. Well, just before I hit the showers. And it's Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast, another Sega game. Front, spy, and here's the back. Here's a disc for Outrun 2006, and here's the manual. Right, and I shall be back in a minute. Alright then, viewers, now don't worry, I'm back from the showers now. Oh, and don't worry about the Jack and Daxter poster. Well, I've managed to put that back in there as well, whilst trying to get back. Okay, now let's continue from where we left off. So, we're going to continue with two of the only Pac-Man games that I can only keep. Here's Pac-Man World 2. Now, I've already got the original Pac-Man World on PS1, so that makes it as a trilogy. So anyways, there's Pac-Man World, front, spy, and there's the back. And here's a disc for Pac-Man World 2, and there's the instruction manual. And here's the third one, Pac-Man World 3. Front, spy, here's the back. Here's a disc for Pac-Man World 3. And the next one is Rampage, Total Destruction. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Rampage, World Total Destruction. Instruction manual there. And the next one is Road Rage 3. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Road Rage 3. And I've only got one S game left. Now, I've already showed you my Sonic Games Collection whilst doing this. Anyways, here's Space Invaders Anniversary. Here's the front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Space Invaders Anniversary. And moving on to the next one, Taz Wanted. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Taz Wanted, and there's the instruction manual there. And the next one is Tekken Tag Tournament. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Tekken Tag Tournament, and there's the instruction manual. And here's the next one, Tekken 4. Front, spy, and there's the back. And it has two discs in here. This one is a Sony Computer Entertainment Europe catalog video, and there's Tekken 4, and there's the instruction manual. And here's the fifth game, Tekken 5. Front, spy, there's the back. And it's got Tekken arcade extras, such as Tekken 1, 2, and 3. Here's a disc for Tekken 5. Now, and here's another S game, and it's Sharks Rally Reinvented. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Sharks. Right, that's all the piles from that now. And now moving on to the final pile now. And here's Tetris Worlds. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Tetris Worlds. And the next one is The Energy Thieves. Includes 2 playable demos of Spyro and Crash Twinsanity. Front, spy, there's the back. And here are 2 discs. Disc 1 and Disc 2. Now, this one is the game disc of The Energy Thieves, and there's Crash Twinsanity and Spyro A Hero's Tale. So yeah, there's the instruction manual. And here's the Italian Job, LA Heist. Front, spy, there's the back. Here's a disc for the Italian Job. And moving on to the Simpsons games now, and The Simpsons is still my favourite show as of today. So here's the first one on the PS2. The Simpsons Road Rage. Front, spy, and here's the back. Move your keister, mister. Kidding. Here's a disc for The Simpsons Road Rage, and there's the instruction manual there. And now moving on to the next one. And here's The Simpsons Skateboarding. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for The Simpsons Skateboarding. And here's the best game of 2003. The Simpsons Hit and Run. Front, spy, and here's the back. Here's a disc for The Simpsons Hit and Run, and there's the instruction manual. Oh, and this game, however, marks the 20th anniversary of this one. Now, because I heard that this game was very popular, because it's a bit like Grand Theft Auto for kids, but except it's in the Simpsons universe, which is kind of cool. And here's the Simpsons game. Now, that's the very game that, I remember playing with my sister, Amber, countless times, when I used to stay over at Amber and Mark's when I was a teenager back then. So obviously this is the perfect game that I still have as of today. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for the Simpsons game, and there's the instruction manual. Right, 3 more now, and here's Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger. Front, spy, and there's the back. Here's a disc for Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger, and there's the instruction manual. And here's Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Rescue. Front, spy, there's the back. Here's a disc for Ty 2. Right, last one, and here's Ultimate Pro Pinball. Here's the front, spy, here's the back. Here's a disc for Ultimate Pro Pinball. Now the reason why I got this one, I mean, not only it has some classic pinball tables, and I think it does have 3 different tables. Right, I'm just going to take that out so that I can have a quick look at the instruction manual to see which one that I did used to have on PS1. That's before I probably got rid of one PS1 game. Now obviously on the manual there's Big Race USA, which is based on the PS1 version. There's Fantastic Journey, and there was the other one, which is Time Shock. So it has 3 pinball games all rolled into one. So that looks pretty cool. Okay, so that's all the PS2 games now. But of course, there is one special box which contains a game in there. And I know that some people really hate one of those games that are rubbish, but here it's the special boxed edition of Speed Machines 3, and it has 10 fantastic high-speed games, so obviously it's kind of a bit similar. And the condition of it looks pretty good. So here's the big front, here's the spine, bottom, another spine, and top, and there's the back. And I'm very sorry about the tatty condition at the back though, but it has 10 games such as Village Monsters, Rally Masters, Jungle Troopers, Steel Heroes, Lost in Snow, Desert Rally, Seashore Superstars, Castle Labyrinths, Around the Wall, and High in the Sky. Right, and now to take the top bit off. And see, there's the unboxed. And here's the game of Speed Machines 3. Front, spine, and there's the back. And here's the disc for Speed Machines 3. Right, and I will put them back in here now. So here we go. And there you have it, viewers. That's pretty much all I can show you on my updated PS2 Games Collection, including Sonic the Hedgehog ones, which Chloe did mention that she does love Amy Rose because it's her favourite character in the games. Oh, and one thing's for certain, she doesn't like Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, Chloe, if you're watching this right now, I can handle your opinion on Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, as long as you can handle mine too, because I like Sonic the Hedgehog as well as Crash Bandicoot. And another thing, Crash Bandicoot is definitely one of my favourite games of all time. Okay then, well I better say goodbye now, viewers, and I will see you again soon. And until then, bye.